Hello everyone. Just wanted to share with you guys how to test a laser on a Nakamichi CD player or Music Bank CD player series. This covers the first series, MB 1, 2, and 3, and CD player 1, 2, and 3. Now, the official way, I'm going to show you the official way first, and then I'm going to show you a different way that you can get similar results. The official way, you'll need this Nakamichi CD player test unit, and you can probably find a used one on eBay, I'm guessing. I haven't really looked, checked, but now you're supposed to use a test disc for this, but I use mobile fidelity discs because they're right in the center of where a disc should be, right at the Red Book standard. So, but first off, let me show you the symptoms we're having. On this particular one, let me cut on the power. It's spinning, but it's not reading the disc. Just the fact that it's spinning it lets you know that it's got something going on. It's got some, it's got some laser activity, but it's just not, it's not, reading it. Okay, so the way you're supposed to test these is you connect a voltmeter to these 5 volt and this OP, and you put the disc in, then you see what it reads on the voltmeter, and then you divide that by 22, which is the resistor across the laser. And so I divided that out. I get about 0.05 milliamps. Now, to test if that's the correct amount that should be on the laser, I have to pull the laser because the actual number is written on the side of the laser as far as how much it should pull. I'm not going to do that right now, but I just want to show you guys that's how you test it. And a reason that might be meaningful, like this was an as-is unit. A lot of times people would turn potentiometers, and it's good to know, it needs to be within 10% of whatever's on this laser. So, if somebody's turned it way up and, that's way too high, I would know that. Or if the laser just out of, if it's out of tolerance that far, it would also tell me that too. So I don't know how much this is, but I just give you kind of a good idea of how to do it. Okay, so now another way to test this to get a good idea if the laser's good or not is, because with an as-is unit you can have all kind of things going on. You can have a lot of cases where people monkeyed around with it, and turn the pot, turn it, they're liable to be a lot of stuff. But if you do a full alignment on a Nakamichi, you will need one of these. You'll need one of these. You'll need an oscillator. You'll need an oscilloscope, and then you'll need a distortion meter for doing the outputs. Okay, so that's and it connects up. There's 2 connectors. See if I can tilt it over there. There's 2 connectors over here that come out this unit, test unit connectors. So that's how you connect it. And let's see. Okay, now the next way that we can check it. Okay, now watch what happens if I just put this in with no disc. It doesn't turn, obviously, but there's something else you can't see. If I'm looking down at this laser lids, it's not moving up and down. And that's because on these Nakamichi, now a lot of players, now the idea is to use a laser power meter. And a lot of players, you can just put this up against the laser and put the drawer in, and it'll try to read. But this one has a sensor that detects a disc, and so we got to defeat that sensor before we can do this. And also there's another problem. It's got this big disc clamp, and you can't get this laser power meter in between the disc clamp and the laser. It's just too tight. So the first thing we're going to have to do is take off this disc clamp. And you can do this pretty simply. Just take the small screwdriver that I showed you in this other video on changing the belts. It just well, I need to really eject it first because it's going to try to stick on me. Okay, let me eject it first. Okay, now it'll come off a lot easier. Okay, and it just fits back together. It's got a groove that it fits in like that. And keep up with that screw. It's got a special screw. Okay, so now we can't do it right yet because we got to feed the sensor. And silver tape will work, but I use painter's tape, and I put a little piece of silver something in the middle because painter's tape just comes up a lot easier. So I'm putting it, this is the sensor right here. Once the drawer is closed, there's a sensor right up under this right here. So we just want this silver piece over here. And we can't position this over it before the drawer closes because there's a little gap right there, and you hit the gap. You have to kind of time it. And okay, so I put on the lowest sensitivity, just because that's just how. Let's see. Not a good place I can put this really where y'all can see it. Let's see. All right. Can't see it there. I'll just try to balance it. Maybe it'll work. And you got to make, there's a little gap on the sensor too, so we're going to try to time this where we put this over the laser, kind of practice like this, put it over the laser, you know, after the drawer closes, and then we're going to see what it peaks out at. Woo! Okay, it's going all the way up to 0.6, which is too much. Okay, now now this is just getting ambient lights while it's cutting up a little bit, but okay, so what I've done before I did this is I had another shop unit that I'd worked on previously, and I know this laser's, you know, pretty close, and so what I did on it was I measured it, so I knew about what this should peak at, and it's peaking at 0.6, and it should be peaking at well, not 0.6, it's actually, this is peaking at 18. It should be peaking at 0.135 is what the other one that's good. So there's a pretty good chance that somebody's been in here and has cut up the laser. So I'm going to go in there and cut down the laser. That might be all it needs, but I'm going to, now when you go to messing around with a laser, what you should do, you want to power everything off first now, and take a meter and measure the resistance across this before you even start, so you have a reference point of where you started at. And then you just want to go down, and you know, with this, the good thing about having something like this is you're not just guessing. You know, if you're just kind of shooting in the dark, a lot of people just kind of turn incremental. That's probably what this person did. They probably kept turning it, you know, never could get it or something. But but you don't really want to, if you start off for one that you know hasn't been messed with, you don't want to go very far, because if you go very far, you know, you can damage the laser. I'd say you don't want to go over about 10 to 15% of what the original value is, but we don't know the original value on this one because somebody's likely messed with it. So I'm going to do that off camera, and I'm going to bring it back down. And the beauty of having a laser power meter is we know about what it should come down to. Instead of just having to guess, we can, you know, have a pretty good range of where it should be. So I'm going to do that, and I'll share in the comments, you know, if that took care of the problem or not. Well, I hadn't seen anything on YouTube on this, so I just want to cover this with you guys. And well, I hope this helps somebody out. And y'all have a good one.